Professionalism, a blockage to the Great Commission. A number of years ago, I was at a conference for pastors, and the speaker was Elton Trueblood, the well-known Christian leader of that era, writer, professor, very thoughtful, insightful guy. He's part of the Quaker tradition. And he was speaking to these ministers about the need to develop the laity as the primary carriers of the Great Commission, making disciples, and put less emphasis on the clergy being a special brand of person. At some point during his talk, one of the pastors, an older fellow that I'm sure had been around for a long time, and his whole sense of worth was probably tied up greatly in being a, quote, pastor and ordained. And he raised his hand and he said, "Dr. Trueblood, don't you think if we make this move to equip the laity that it will undermine the professionalism of the clergy?" And there was a little silence in the room. Trueblood held his tongue for a few moments, and then he said, "I sure hope so." Well, this guy sat there totally perplexed. He had spent years being a professional clergyman, and the idea of everybody being on the same playing field, having their own role in carrying out the directives of being stewards and discipling others, it was a bit beyond the parameters of his paradigm. I never forgot that encounter. I've noticed in my own life that my education, my professionalism has often gotten in the way of me understanding and realizing that everybody has the ability to be a dynamic element within the charge of Jesus to go and make disciples. We don't need seminary training. We don't need a ton of biblical knowledge. All we need is to be in pursuit of truth, honest about our own life, and be willing to be in relationship with a few others who have the same desire to grow as persons. When we allow things like professionalism of clergy and a form of ordination that is really man-made, and seminary training, all kinds of formalized education, when we allow these things to stop us from entering into our own role in making disciples, in developing total life stewardship, we have entered into permitting a blockage built around this idea of the need for professionalism. That does not mean that there isn't a place for people that are highly trained, but their place should be one of washing feet, not pounding the pulpit. Their role should be that of equipping, not trying to find a high place for themselves. As we move in this direction, the professionalism that has great benefit will shift from being one of power to being one of equipping others to fulfill their greatest calling. Have a good day.